Next week on Days of Our Lives.
Order!
Welcome back to Days of Our... Today we will delve into the explosive developments unfolding in Salem as Wednesday, August 6th brings forth a cascade of dramatic revelations that will forever alter the landscape of our beloved characters' lives. Sophia's desperate plea for help. The tension reaches a boiling point as Sophia Choi finds herself drowning in the quicksand of her own deception. Her carefully constructed world begins to crumble when Tate Black's relentless pursuit for information about his biological child intensifies beyond her worst nightmares. The young woman, who once believed she had everything under control, now faces the terrifying reality that her elaborate adoption charade is unraveling thread by thread. In a moment of sheer panic, Sophia will place an urgent, trembling call to Melinda Trask, her voice barely containing the hysteria that threatens to consume her entirely. The conversation becomes a lifeline as Sophia desperately seeks reassurance from the woman who orchestrated this intricate web of lies. Melinda, ever the calculating mastermind, must now provide damage control while maintaining the facade that has kept their secret buried for so long. The stakes couldn't be higher as Tate's paternal instincts drive him to dig deeper into the mysterious circumstances surrounding his child's placement. His determination to uncover the truth about the adoptive parents becomes an obsession that threatens to expose not just Sophia's deception, but the entire network of lies that Melinda has carefully constructed. Each photograph Tate attempts to capture, each question he poses, brings them one step closer to complete exposure. Previous developments suggest that Sophia will find herself cornered during a tense confrontation at the local bar, where Tate's interrogation becomes increasingly aggressive and pointed. However, her desperation will drive her to make an additional visit to Melinda's office, where she will lay bare her fears and demand immediate intervention. The walls are closing in, and both women know that their time is running out. Gabi's emotional outpouring and complex feelings. Meanwhile, Gabby Hernandez finds herself at an emotional crossroads as she prepares to navigate the treacherous waters of her upcoming dinner engagement with Xander Kyriakis. The weight of her deceptive scheme begins to take its toll as she confides in both Rafe Hernandez and Leo Stark, two individuals who have witnessed her journey through this complicated web of manipulation and strategy. Gabi's conflicted emotions create a fascinating psychological study as she simultaneously celebrates her perceived progress in ensnaring Xander while grappling with an unexpected sense of abandonment following their abruptly terminated previous encounter. The complexity of her feelings reveals a woman caught between her desire for revenge and an unwillingness to admit that she may be developing genuine feelings for her intended target. The conversation with Rafe and Leo becomes a therapeutic release valve for Gabi's pent-up frustrations and anxieties. She pours out her heart about the intricate balance she must maintain between appearing genuinely interested in Xander while keeping her true motives hidden beneath layers of carefully crafted charm and seduction. The emotional toll of living a double life weighs heavily on her shoulders. Adding another layer of complexity to Gabi's already overwhelming situation is the constant presence of baby Tesoro, whose persistent crying serves as a stark reminder of the responsibilities she never anticipated. The infant's demands create an additional source of stress as Gabi questions how long she and her accomplices will be forced to maintain custody of this child. The baby becomes both a tool in their deception and an unwelcome burden that threatens to expose their carefully laid plans. Johnny's legal battle intensifies. The courtroom drama surrounding Johnny D. Mara's case reaches a critical juncture as the prosecution begins calling witnesses whose testimonies could prove devastating to his defense strategy. The legal proceedings take on a life of their own as personal histories and past conflicts are dragged into the harsh light of judicial scrutiny. Johnny's violent confrontation at the D. Mara mansion looms large over the proceedings, casting a dark shadow that the defense team struggles to overcome. The night when he arrived armed and ready to eliminate E.J. DiMera from existence becomes a focal point that prosecutors will undoubtedly exploit to paint him as a dangerous individual capable of premeditated violence. Although Johnny ultimately chose mercy over vengeance, the mere fact that he came so close to pulling the trigger creates reasonable doubt about his capacity for restraint. E.J. DiMera's desperate attempts to clear his son's name reveal the depth of paternal love that exists beneath his typically cold and calculating exterior. The powerful patriarch finds himself in the unusual position of fighting not for corporate dominance or political advantage, but for the freedom and future of his beloved son. This vulnerability humanizes EJ in ways that Salem residents rarely witness. Paulina's damaging testimony, the most devastating blow to Johnny's defense, comes from an unexpected source as Paulina Price takes the witness stand with information that could seal his fate. Her testimony threatens to undo all of EJ's careful legal maneuvering and strategic planning, as she possesses first-hand knowledge of Johnny's state of mind during the critical period surrounding the alleged crime. Paulina's recollection of Johnny's vengeful declarations creates a nightmare scenario for the defense team. Her testimony will include damaging statements where Johnny expressed his belief that EJ deserved whatever fate befell him, words spoken in anger that now return to haunt him in the most public and consequential way possible. These statements, taken out of context, paint Johnny as someone who not only harbored ill will toward his father but actively wished him harm. The emotional weight of her testimony creates a profound internal conflict for Paulina, who genuinely cares for Johnny and never intended for her words to be used as weapons against him. Her nervousness on the stand stems not from any desire to see Johnny convicted, but from the knowledge that her honesty could destroy the future of someone she considers family. Carver's supportive presence provides Paulina with the strength she needs to endure this painful ordeal. His reassurance that both Johnny and Chanel understand her position helps alleviate some of her guilt, but the damage to Johnny's case may already be irreversible. Abe's wisdom and compassion serve as anchors for Paulina during one of the most difficult moments of her life. Strategic legal maneuvering and father-son dynamics behind the scenes, EJ and Johnny engage in intense strategic discussions about the increasingly desperate measures required to secure an acquittal. These conversations reveal the evolution of their relationship from one marked by conflict and mistrust to a partnership forged in the crucible of legal jeopardy. EJ's admission that he must embrace more ruthless tactics represents a significant shift in his approach to Johnny's defense. The acknowledgement that conventional legal strategies may prove insufficient forces both men to confront the possibility that winning this case may require them to abandon their moral principles and embrace the darker aspects of their DiMera heritage. The tender moments between father and son, where EJ reassures Johnny that every action is motivated by love, provide emotional depth to their relationship that transcends the immediate legal crisis. These exchanges reveal that despite their complicated history, the bond between them has grown stronger in the face of adversity, creating a foundation of trust that will serve them well in the battles ahead. As these multiple storylines converge, Wednesday's episode promises to deliver the kind of high-stakes drama that Days of Our Lives fans have come to expect and cherish. The intricate web of deception, legal maneuvering, and personal relationships creates a tapestry of conflict that will have lasting consequences for everyone involved in Salem's ever-evolving narrative landscape. Next, we dive into a touching and emotionally charged confrontation between Chad DiMera and Julie Williams, an unexpected clash that ends with a surprising proposal and a heartwarming possibility for the future. A clash of generations and opinions on what began as a seemingly ordinary day in Salem, Chad DiMera found himself pushed to his emotional edge by a well-meaning but overbearing Julie Williams. Over the past few weeks, Julie had made it her mission to express her disapproval of Chad's relationship with Kat, scrutinizing every decision he made, and constantly voicing her concerns about his judgment. While Chad had tolerated her comments out of respect and familial affection, her relentless criticism finally became too much. In a rare moment of frustration, Chad firmly, yet respectfully, redirected Julie. His tone was measured, but his message was crystal clear. Enough was enough. "You're not going to change my mind about Kat," Chad said, his eyes steady but tired. "And I know I'm not going to change yours. But I'm a grown man, Julie. I've made my choices. You don't have to like them. But you do need to let me live with them. So from now on, let's both keep our thoughts to ourselves." Julie, known for her fiery spirit, wasn't used to being put in her place, especially not by Chad, whom she adored like a grandson. Her eyes welled up with tears, not from anger, but from the sharp sting of realization that she might have overstepped. Julie's heartfelt apology, the air between them shifted instantly. Julie's voice cracked with emotion as she stepped closer to Chad. "I'm sorry, darling," she whispered, struggling to hold back her tears. "You mean the world to me. Watching you raise those kids, seeing you find joy again after everything you've been through. It's the most important thing in my life right now." She took a breath, trying to compose herself. "And honestly, spending time with your children is the highlight of my days, especially when we visit Foster's bookstore. I love those afternoons. Reading to them, watching their little faces light up when they discover a new story." A small, bittersweet smile touched her lips. "Actually, do you want to buy them a book today, Chad? Or maybe we could buy the whole bookstore." A shrinking market and a bigger idea. Julie's impulsive suggestion, though half in jest, struck a nerve with Chad. He looked at her with quiet seriousness, reminding her of a harsh but unavoidable truth. "You know the book market is shrinking, right?" he said gently. "People just don't read the way they used to. It's heartbreaking, really." But if he thought this would deter Julie, he was sorely mistaken. Julie straightened her shoulders, her eyes blazing with passion. "That's exactly why we need to do something," she declared. "Books are magic, Chad. They're doorways to new worlds, new perspectives. And children, especially your kids, deserve to grow up with that magic. If we don't fight to preserve that, who will?" She launched into a passionate speech, one that pulled not only at Chad's heartstrings but reminded him of the fierce woman Julie had always been. She talked about the joy of reading to children, the value of printed stories in a digital world, and how buying Foster's bookstore could be more than just a purchase. It could be a legacy. Chad's clever response. Chad smiled. It was the kind of smile that carried both amusement and admiration. "Then you should buy it, Julie," he said simply. Julie blinked in surprise. "Me? Yes, you. You say you're bored, always looking for something meaningful to do. This could be it. Why not take all that energy, all that passion, and put it into something that really matters to you? You love books. You love my kids. Put the two together and you've got a purpose that could light you up for years to come." The idea took Julie off guard. She fumbled for reasons why it wouldn't work. Too old, too busy, too impractical. But Chad wasn't having it. "You always say you want to make a difference," he added. "Well, here's your chance." Then he left her to think about it, planting a seed that just might grow into something much bigger than either of them imagined. A new chapter waiting to be written. By the time Chad left the hospital that day, something had shifted. Julie, still wiping tears from her eyes, stood quietly by the window, lost in thought. The idea of owning a bookstore, something she'd never seriously considered before, now felt like a calling, a way to give back, a new adventure waiting to unfold. And perhaps, in the wake of a confrontation that could have divided them, Chad and Julie found something even more powerful than agreement: understanding and a shared hope for the future. Would Julie take the leap and purchase Foster's bookstore? Could a new chapter of her life begin just when she thought the story had started to slow down? Only time will tell in Salem.